I remember reading when I was a young dad and Caden was only 2 years old. We lived in Hagerstown, Maryland. And we lived in this beautiful house that was built in like the early 1900s. It had the big banisters. It had the radiators where if you touch them, you get third-degree burns. Those are beautiful things, you know? And we lived in this duplex on the second floor. Caden's bedroom was up there, and it oversaw this kind of a hill that went down. In the distance, you could see the mountains, and it snowed a lot. And so there'd be these street lamps that looked like they were as old as the house. And you would see the snow coming down, and you felt like you were stuck in like a Curious George book. Like it was like this perfect setting. And we were sitting there in this, I would sit there and hold Caden, and I would just look out this window, and sometimes you forget to read. You're just both staring at this snow as it's coming down with this street light at night, and it's just gorgeous in this old house. It was just this picturesque moment, and I remember savoring those moments because they were just so sweet. You know, you probably have moments like that you think about with your kids or a vacation you went on, or even maybe you and your spouse had, those moments where your kids went to school and you're sitting down having a cup of coffee, whatever it may be, you can remember things in your life. Caden's in 6th grade. He's 12. He's got 6 years left and he's gone. And that's the reality of the situation. I savored that moment, but yet time isn't what I think it is, right? I think as parents, we try to stop time, and what we do is we hinder our kids, right? We try to stop time, and what we try to do is we control our kids or control their destiny or control their fate. There's some parents that we have trouble letting go of things. It's not because we're not good people. It's because time isn't what we think it is, and it's actually hurting us to interpret time as what we see it and not what Jesus is seeing it. It's saying, hey, you're part of a big picture here, and I want you to understand that I see every need you have in your life, but there's something bigger that I'm trying to help you understand, that time isn't what you think it is. It's different than that. How much different would you react in your life if you didn't feel like every decision was life or death? What if your financial decision, as dire as it seems, is actually not the end? What if the health diagnosis you got, as bleak and dark as it feels, isn't actually the end of your health? Or what if it is? What if the things that we stress over and worry about and have angst are actually not as bad as they seem, because time isn't what we think it is? How many of you have actually experienced your worst fear? And it didn't become your worst fear after you experienced it, but you've actually feared something that ended up happening. Anybody? You actually feared something that happened? I have. Can I tell you something about it? It really wasn't that bad. It's never as bad as you make it in your mind. Is that fair? The worst fears is you fear the fear more than you actually fear the event. And Jesus is trying to say, if people could see outside of where they're actually at and keep their eyes on me, things would be very different.